Welcome back to Pop Culture Theory. I am Saccora. You can find us around the web on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Pop Culture Theory. Today we are bringing you guys the remainder of our Dominaria spoilers in the format of a pre-release guide. I've had a busy week and a couple of things, including some power outages and internet outages here, that have stopped me from getting to making all of my Dominaria spoiler videos, so I'm going to wrap it all into the pre-release guide video here, and we're going to talk about what you will expect when you are attending the Dominaria pre-release. Now, Dominaria pre-release is going to be on April 21st and 22nd. Some of you, including myself, are going to be able to go to midnight pre-releases. Check with your local game store, WPN official stores only, to see when your pre-release will be. Now, I will be attending one, maybe two or three pre-releases this weekend, and there's a couple things I want to address on what is going on with pre-release for all of you. Now, this is a little different than pre-releases in the past, and I will be approaching this pre-release and my deck building for this pre-release different than I have for some of the pre-releases in the past. First and foremost, you are going to get two stamped cards this time, not one, and that is going to be a mythic or a rare, mythic or rare stamped like always, and then a legendary stamped card that can be of any rarity. You will also have the ability to buy product at pre-release for the first time ever. Well, booster product at least. You used to be able to buy the Planeswalker decks at pre-release, and now you're going to be able to buy them in addition to booster boxes. My understanding is you cannot buy booster packs during the pre-release, but booster boxes you can, which means you can buy a booster box and get your Fire Song and Sun Speaker copy while you're at your local game store. Now, this is also just for local game stores. Outside of that, you will have to wait to buy them on release day. Now, the Dominaria pre-release will include one pre-release pack that you will get with your entry fee. The pre-release pack is what you are going to build your sealed deck out of, and we are going to cover a couple of those aspects, including what's involved. I know I've had a lot of people tell me they are brand new to pre-release and they want me to go through it all the way from the beginning. So your pack is going to include one life counter dice, you might have seen other players with them before, 6 packs, as well as the 2 foil stamped cards we've mentioned before. Now, unlike some of my past pre-releases, I'm going to highly recommend that you lean into the legendaries this time. You are going to be getting at least 7 legendaries. Now, one of the reasons for that is Dominaria has changed it up, and you are guaranteed 1 legendary per pack. The rarity on that legendary isn't guaranteed, but every pack should have a legendary, which means you should have 7 legendaries. If you can get some of the right color combinations, that'll really work. That being said, I would stay away from 3 colors unless you absolutely have to. All 3 of these cards are awesome. I would love to try Muldrotha during pre-release, or Joda, but I don't think it's worth it for the color combos. I think you should really look at sticking to 2 color combos like the ones here. I'm really looking at blue and red at this pre-release, as well as white and red. And these are a couple of the cards that I would love to see. Now, obviously, getting a Mythic Joyra probably isn't going to happen, but some of these uncommon ones would be really awesome. So, this is some of the ones that I'm going to be looking for, and if I get them, they're going to help me model what I'm going to be building for pre-release here. Now, red and blue is really good at synergizing in this one, and white and blue is always good at synergizing for pre-release. Now, we also have a couple other good ones that are going to synergize with green, and that includes red and green has some good elf synergies going on in this one, and black and green is going to have some really good Saproling synergies. If you can draw some of these legendary creatures and you have the cards to go with them, either elves or Saprolings, this is going to make for a really good deck, and that extra bit of synergy really counts in pre-release structured. Now, the other one I'm watching out for is white and black. White and black is going to be awesome for Knights if you can pull the right cards for it. Even some of the things like the Primeval Rebirth is going to be good if you can get it to late game. It's one, though, that might be a legendary that unless I had all the pieces, I'm going to move back from. Most of the legendaries, though, like if I pull Ariel or the Curse there, I'm going to do my best to try to build that Knight deck if I have those Knight pieces, because it's going to make for a nice synergistic deck, and that might be what I'm looking for here. Speaking of Knights, these are going to be some of the cards I'm watching out for in white. Now, I'm going to start with some of the rares that you probably won't see, but if you pull them, you should definitely lean into them. So these are a couple of them. Obviously, if you get the Mythic Saga, it's going to be a good one that you can play. It's going to help you with your Knights. Other creatures getting +1/+1 is going to be an awesome one if you can pull it, but more than that, we should be looking at our uncommons and commons, and these are a bunch of the uncommons I would love to pull. These are going to be things that would play well with Knights. The first strike to double strike mechanism is going to be really nice in here, and On Sarah's Wings is just in general going to be a good enchantment. It is a legendary enchantment, which means you're going to need a legendary out there, but I think it's going to be a good one. There's some other good instance in sorceries that we're looking at, including the ability to charge, giving everybody a +1/+1, or the ability to invoke the Divine, which is going to get rid of artifacts or enchantments. Never underestimate the ability to destroy artifacts and enchantments in Sealed. Also, we have Healing Grace, which will prevent damage and give us life. Those are all really good in sealed environments. Don't forget flying creatures. That's one of the white aspects that is best for white and sealed, and it works really well with blue. We have a bunch of flyers here that are all just going to take the game by flying over your opponent's head if they aren't ready for it. It is always a good strategy in sealed, and it's one a lot of people don't look out for. So not only should you be building this if you have the option, but make sure you're ready for it. And then last one here, if you get Evra here, build it. This is like a win condition. If you get this, you can win. That being said, let's talk a little bit more about win conditions. Jhin, another great win condition. If you get one, go really blue heavy, put a lot of islands in. It's a good win condition. That flying is just going to deliver the game. We also have the Academy Drake that is a good flyer here, as well as some big blue creatures for finishers. So there's a couple different aspects you can go with blue. I always like them because they have that flying aspect here. You have things like the 1/1, you have the Arcane Flight, the Sphinx. All of these are going to be really good if you can pull them. If you can build blue-white flyers, it's one I always look out for building. It's really good in almost any pre-release setting here. So these are going to be a couple I'd watch out for, not to mention that blue is going to have a lot of good instants and sorceries, as well as some sagas. Now, the saga here is going to be really good at locking your opponent down and never discount counterspells in constructed or sealed. No one's going to necessarily see them coming. In rewind, I really like this because not only are you countering a spell, but then you're going to get that mana back, and then you can go and use that for Wizard's Retort if you need to. So I really think that this is something that you can look at, and even though rewind might not see a lot of constructed play, it's going to be good in sealed here. Now, red, we've got a couple good ones. Always look for that direct damage in red. We have Wizard's Lightning, which is basically a lightning bolt if you can pull the wizard cards. Wizards should be pretty powerful in this if you can get enough of them. In general, we've got that red damage up front. It's always kind of what you're looking for. Red is that direct damage, and anything you can do to, seal that. We have a couple of good creatures with red, always some good red beaters. I'm not going to show you guys here, but I do like the Phoenix card in sealed environment. I think that's something you're going to be able to get back. The Fire Fist Adept is another one, and then I always feel like anything with red and draw a card on it is something that I'm looking forward to. So 1-cost red draw card, I'm looking forward to that. Now, for black, here are a couple of the rares and mythics that you could again look for. If you get the Dreadshade, or if you get Liliana's brother there, Josuvest, these are going to be ones that if you can make it to endgame, they'll be really good, and this should really give you that play. Dreadshade, swing in, and then after they declare no blockers, pump them up as much as you can. Classic trick. Now, we also are going to be looking at the Knights in black. I think that's where Knights are going to really synergize well with white here. And never underestimate, again, Eviscerate. Something that's just going to kill a target creature, even if it's 4 cost in sealed environments, that can be really good. So that's one of the many reasons that I'm looking after black here. Not to mention that black also has that classic discard effect here. This is going to give you a chance to look at your opponent's hand and then to discard a card out of it that is an artifact or a creature. That's going to be really good, I think, in this sealed format. For green, we always have the big creatures. That's the big thing with green, obviously. If you can pull the Steel Leaf Champion, that's going to be a really good one. Don't underestimate green with the reach abilities. That'll help you take care of some of those flyers we talked about early. But in general, big creatures is where you want to go with green if you're going to be building it. You want to be able to just overwhelm your opponent. That's going to mean you'll want some mana ramp. If you pull Llanowar Elves or the Elfhane Druid, those are going to be things that'll help you add to your mana. And then obviously, if you can pull anything that's involving Saprolings for green and black together, that's going to be a really good synergy if you get the pulls on that. So I really think those are some things you should look out for, is that mana ramp with green and Saproling cards if you can pull them. And that includes that Saproling Migration. It's a sorcery spell that you can kick to make even more. And then, as always, green has a lot of protection from flying. You can pierce the sky, get rid of those big flyers they have. That's a lot of damage for a low cost. Not to mention destroying those artifacts and enchantments, which we already covered is a really big deal in this. So when you're talking about sealed format, you're going to have a lot more different things like that you're going up against. Speaking of artifacts, I only want to highlight a couple right here. Amaranthine Wall. I always like walls in sealed, especially a 4 cost for a 6 that can go indestructible. That's going to be pretty good. That's going to be something you could really lean on if you need some defense. And these other two are going to help you to fix your mana. I think they could really be used in any deck. Otherwise, there's a lot of great artifacts, but they're going to be more situational based on the cards you've pulled. These 3 you might be able to splash into any deck based on the pulls if you get them. So that's the main reason I wanted to highlight them and not the others. That brings us to the end of the video, and we're going to talk a little bit about Firesong and Sunspeaker. Once again, this is the Buy a Box promo. You're going to get this for going out to a local WPN store and buying a box, or you can enter my giveaway. I'm getting 2 of these. I'm going to be buying 2 boxes from 2 different stores so I can get one and give it away to one of you out there. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is like the channel and subscribe or subscribe to the channel and like the video, and then comment below. Look at any of my other recent Magic videos where I mentioned this giveaway, and if you comment on those and like the video as well, you're going to get yourself an extra entry in. One lucky person is going to go away with this. I'll be drawing that after the release day. So release day on this product is the 27th. I'll be doing it either the 28th or 29th, right near the end of the month. We're going to pull our winner. So if you guys want your chance to win, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Let me know what you think of our videos, what other things you would like to see. Do you want to see more deck techs? Do you wish I'd finished spoiler season? Darn me for not getting all my videos out. What kind of content are you looking for here? Now remember, I am completely unsponsored. I don't have any sponsors. I'm kind of just uncensored, unsponsored, making all of this content for you guys out there. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Saccora. I did have a Patreon I mentioned in some past videos. I'm not really going to be pushing it in any of my YouTube videos anymore. I've got some other projects that is focused on. So I'm really just here making this content for all of you. So please let me know in the comments below what you guys thought and what I could do better. This is my first time I've done one of these pre-release preview videos. Once again, I am Saccora with Pop Culture Theory, and I will catch you all next time.